for the 10 minutes it takes us to speak. No videos, no tweets, no posts, because I'm telling you something that we'll later be telling to everyone, to the public, to our readers. But I want this chance right now to speak to the people I've worked with for the last 42 and a half years, and you alone. After that, you can tweet your hearts out. I have a most surprising, indeed shocking announcement. Our company is making it public right now that we've sold the Washington Post newspaper to Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon. Yep. To be clear, the buyer is not Amazon. It is a company owned by Jeff personally. For those who care, the price is $250 million, and what we're selling includes the weekly papers we all refer to as the Gazettes and Robinson Journal. This leaves me with two obvious screaming questions. Why are we selling, and why to Jeff? The hard question is the first one. All the Grahams in this room have been proud to know since we were very little that we were part of the family that owned the Washington Post. We loved the paper, what it stood for, and everyone who produced it. But the point of our ownership was always supposed to be that it was good for the Post. As the newspaper business continued to bring up questions to which we didn't have all the answers, Catherine and I began to ask ourselves honestly if ownership by our small public company was still the best thing for the newspaper. Our revenues have declined 7 years in a row. I have been so impressed with the quality of our innovation in response to that. But the innovations, while I thought to my critical eye, I saw plenty of success in terms of audience and quality, did not make up the difference in declining revenues. So our answer had to be cost cuts, and we knew there was a limit to that. We were absolutely certain that the paper could survive under our ownership, but we wanted more for the Post. We wanted to be successful. So we and the board, very tentatively and gingerly earlier this year, started to ask if there might be a buyer who could bring financial technology or other strengths that today's Post company doesn't have. We did not auction the paper. We looked for a buyer who would approach ownership with a sense of the responsibility, would want to own it for the right reasons, and would bring a lot to the Post and all our other local businesses, and not incidentally, be fair to the shareholders of the soon-to-be renamed Washington Post Company. So now, one of the half-dozen great founders of internet companies wants to take on the challenge. He obviously knows that it will be hard. Why Jeff? I would assume that, surprised as you all are, that the why Jeff part is pretty obvious. He is famous for patiently investing for years to solve problems. And he's famous for succeeding in most of those investments. I've heard the Post's great friend Warren Buffett call Jeff the ablest CEO in America. What does he bring to this place? Jeff knows most of the great technologists in the world, lots of them. That, if there is one sentence that I think everyone in this building from the 9th floor to the sub-basement would agree on, it is that every year into the future, more news will be read on digital and mobile devices and a little less in print, although the post-print business is still very, very strong. So what Jeff brings is pretty clear. He won't arrive with solutions to the problems of the news business, of course. But his ownership means, I think, literally the best chance for long-term success for the Post. The Post has to innovate and be smart and patient in doing so. Our values mustn't change, but our course has to. Now, the Post needs Jeff, but he also needs you. And here I want to say a word to all my long-term colleagues, starting with those in the newsroom. The future of news starts with news. Then it involves, I think, technology. In fact, I think that's pretty obvious. If you ask what a guy like Jeff Bezos needs from a company like this one, I would answer in 2 words, Roz Helderman. Or I could say David Fairenthold or Levi Saslow or Nikita Stewart or Karen DeYoung or Dan Baltz or Tom Boswell. But for the moment, I'll stick with Roz. No one knew before Roz started her reporting a few weeks ago that the governor of Virginia and his family had taken thousands of dollars of gifts from a businessman. She met the challenge to good reporters. Tell me something I don't know and make it something important. Her stories have changed national and local lives, as so many reporters have before her, many here, some gone, and hundreds of people in this room. Kate Boo, Jeff Lee, Sari Horowitz, Ann Holland, Dan Priest, and OK, Woodward Bernstein. But Jeff does not just need reporters. I'm pleased that he's asked Catherine, Marty, Steve Hills, Fred Hyatt, and the rest of the Post management team to stay in their places running the Post, as Catherine will report to you in a moment. This gives me a chance to thank Catherine. As the Post fell to millions of dollars of losses in the awful year 2009, I wasn't sure the paper could be profitable again soon. But Catherine and her outstanding team brought us back to cash flow profitability the next year. It remains there. You cannot know how much easier that makes your future job and Jeff's. As I look out into this room, obviously I see your faces and I see others. I'm thinking as well of your predecessors in all these jobs the last 30 and 40 years, whom I've known as well. That you know, obvious. To say the very obvious, I've loved working with you. Not just those who write the stories, but those who run the presses, sell the ads, deliver the papers. I honestly think that today may be a crucially good day for the Post. I understand that there is also, and necessarily, a sense of disappointment. On my side, the only person I feel even a slight sense of disappointment with would be me, but not you. No one had a better bunch of people to work with. I am leaving you, we are leaving you, the company is, with managers and editors you know and I know are excellent. That's all the people you work with. And with a family owner who will, for the future, be as good for the Post as anyone in the world. Catherine is now going to tell you what is going to happen going forward. And she's also going to read a message from Jeff. I want to add one word. The timing of this announcement had to be ours. We're a public company. This company that Jeff owns is not. When public companies do a transaction like this, they're required by law to immediately make an announcement, and we did. The timing was ours, not Jeff's, so Jeff couldn't be here today, but he'll be here shortly, as Catherine